Fast forward, my will say a more cover embra channel your social swamps I'll say a pop creation television. Political source training me question big headlines ne jemre na yidi Akroma ewa ha. Nidi me ho braxia mu say ene e kan ya message so betimi subscribe to the channel. Hit notification bell, share and my friends will answer into me. Can be any ma a will leave a comment under the comment section. And make sure when you catch away in sa young writing sim.
Folks, welcome to the AM News. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Details now. The government is preparing to legislate new rules to guide the removal of Supreme Court and other Superior Court judges. The announcement was made by the Majority Leader Mahama Yariga on the floor, and it comes at the back of the Chief Justice's Gertrude Tokono's current locked processes seeking to remove her. Now, the process has so far been criticized by the opposition NPP, which says it is simply an attempt by the NDC to unfairly remove the Chief Justice. Our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kwekwa Sante, reports.
The process currently underway to remove Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono continue to receive criticism from Parliament, especially from members on the NPP minority side. Today on the floor, Deputy Minority Leader Patricia PJ descended on President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, who she accused of having a preconceived agenda to remove the Chief Justice.
Audacious attempt by the presidency to undermine judicial independence have reached dangerous proportions. The nation watched in disbelief as the executive launched brazen efforts to remove the Chief Justice of the Republic.
Before Ota for Vincent Ekwasafwa, who had actually gone to the Supreme Court to stop the entire process, says the latest affidavit deposed to by the Chief Justice herself in a matter she has filed before the Supreme Court clearly backs her proposition up that the effort underway is simply to unjustifiably remove her from office.
I don't see why a Chief Justice will appear before a committee and he will be searched like a petty criminal. Meanwhile, the lawyers who are representing the petitioners are not searched. It cannot be a fair procedure. It cannot be a fair treatment.
Meanwhile, the government says it is now introducing new measures to guard the process to remove the Chief Justice and other persons who serve on the Superior Court of Judicature. According to Mahama Yaga, the Majority Leader who announced this on the floor, this is expected to streamline the process that is currently outlined for in the Constitution.
The President is committed to legislative clarity with transparency when it comes to the constitutional mechanics of the removal of justices of the Superior Courts.
While the Supreme Court is yet to decide on the Chief Justice's injunction application, the process is currently ongoing. The minority say this process must be stopped because it's clearly an attempt to subdue the judiciary and pack the courts with NDC loyalists. Reporting for Joy News, Kwekwa Sante, Parliament House, Accra.
The Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly says it is taking concrete steps with the Ghana Police Service to ensure commercial drivers comply with the recent 15% transport fare reduction. This follows widespread reports that some drivers continue to charge the old fares, defying the directive by the Transport Union. KMA's head of transport, Randy Wilson, says enforcement is already underway in collaboration with the police.
The head of the Transport Department at the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, Randy Wilson, says a strict enforcement exercise by the police has begun in Kumasi to ensure commercial drivers reduce the fares by the agreed 15%. Joy News's checks indicate there are no visible police officers on the roads for the exercise, but Mr. Wilson insists the police will be out to instill compliance.
That is what the mayor communicated to us, that the police will be out today, starting today, to ensure that every driver is able to reduce the fare that they charge now by the agreed 15% with the Ministry of Transport.
Some commuters have had to challenge drivers and their mates on their failure to reduce fares. Randy Wilson observed complaints are already coming in from commuters who claim they are being overcharged despite the new directive.
There's a phone number that we give out, and there are a lot of people who are calling to complain about they being charged beyond what has been agreed. And we are compiling all those and make it available to the police, MTTD, and we are hoping that within the next 2-3 days, all these drivers will be fished out and then the appropriate punishment meted out to them.
The public has been urged to report defaulting drivers directly to the KMA.
If anybody is charged beyond the 15% reduction, please compile, just take your phone, take the vehicle number, give us the route you are working on, and then add the fare that you are charged. And send it to the numbers, and then appropriate actions will be taken against these recalcitrant drivers.
The KMS says it remains committed to ensuring passengers are not shortchanged and drivers are held accountable. Reporting for Joy News, Emanuela Irabna Akwe, Kumasi.
In other stories, President John Dramani Mahama says recent gains by the cedi have helped the country reduce its total debt burden by almost 150 billion Ghana cedis. He says if that trajectory continues, the target of reaching 55 to 58% debt sustainability by 2028 will be reached by the end of this year. Speaking during a presidential session at the 60th annual meeting of the African Development Bank and the 51st annual meeting of the African Development Fund in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, he credited the debt reduction to key interventions rolled out by his government over the past 5 months. He says his government is also focused on boosting domestic revenue, fighting corruption, cutting wasteful government expenditure, and ensuring better accountability in governance. Here's more.
With our bilateral creditors, and therefore it brought the quantum of debt down, that's the size, but it also stretched out the repayment of the debt. That brought us down to about 76% debt to GDP. Since then, we're left to just 3%.
Nti we ensem ahodo etimi call so channel yi so high population television. Ya mishraw on trewashim so yemre ewo ha. Omari so bitimi subscribe, share, hit on notification bell na emma ebusuakuo no emu enye kese. Ya mishraw say obeka ebusuakuo no. That's an so bad here di adom bi edom yenia. Ensen hyiamu na yensumu ewo kwan so kra. Ha population television. Me that's so yemre.